Cooking is not really my thing. But I have a large family and we eat most of our meals at home, so I cook. And vintage kitchen stuff just makes my heart go pitty pat. I'm Michelle, this is my romantic tangle, and I have got a new project that I am getting more and more excited about. So, about 3 years ago at the thrift store, I found a recipe box. And I've seen recipe boxes before at estate sales and thrift shops, and they've caught my interest, but never enough for me to bring them home. This one, I don't know why, had to come home with me. It is the Betty Crocker Recipe Card Library from 1970 something. And it just, I think the boys were the ones who found it and asked about it. And the more I looked at it, the more I needed it. So we brought it home and I made a couple of recipes. I made the chicken fricassee with dumplings, which I've made a gazillion times since then. And I made the oven porcupines just because they were so ridiculous I had to. My husband was not impressed. But I love this box. And I've since then found like 2 more from different companies in different places. And then there was an estate sale. And this estate sale was a 10-bedroom house with an indoor pool. But when I say a 10-bedroom house with an indoor pool, whatever you're picturing was not this house. They had collections. They had dolls. They had a room with more cookbooks than I have ever seen in one place in my life. All 4 walls of the room had shelves like these full of books, and there were also hallways with shelves like this full of books. I have a lot of books at my house, but I've been in bookstores with less than this place had. I came home with armloads of old mid-century cookbooks. If I had not been parked 10 blocks away, I would have come home with more armloads of mid-century cookbooks because I don't know if I'm going to cook anything from this, but I love the artwork. I cannot get enough of the artwork, and I don't think I could bring myself to cut this up to do a junk journal. This one is staying intact. There will be more estate sales and more old cookbooks, and I'm never ever going to make deviled veal steaks. I am confident of that, but I can love the illustration. And pork hocks and sauerkraut. Okay, is the castle in the background because that's German? I was looking at the rocks in the background and thinking the American Southwest, and I can just swoon over these all day long. Skip forward about 2 years and a lot of attempts at making recipes, and we went to another estate sale, and I found this. Stuffed full of old recipes, $6. And I wanted it. And I was going to bring it home. And I walked up to the lady. She took a look at the tag on it and said, "Oh, no, 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 no." And my heart just sank. Because she had launched into a story about how this was her mother's recipe book. And the woman telling me this story had made this box in shop class when she was in high school for her mother's recipes. This thing, guys, is serious life goals for me. She sold it to me for $1. And this is, I am guessing there are at least 700 recipes in here just based on how much space a pack of 100 index cards takes up. They are written in cursive. They are in several people's handwriting. Some of them are typed. Most of them are probably not things that I would cook. This lady loved her salads. And I would love to know if she made all of these things or if she just collected recipes from friends or family or what. Because like I said, there are hundreds of recipes in here. And I don't know what tomato towers are. We got hard-cooked eggs, chopped ripe olives, tomatoes. I don't know. It doesn't sound good. The more I look at this recipe book, and I brought it home, and I had great ambitions of sorting through the whole thing and counting all the recipes, and I didn't know why I didn't, but now that I look back at when I bought this, it was February 2020. That's why this sat and I never got into it. I got thinking that I've set up housekeeping with my husband 3 decades ago. We have never had a recipe box. Maybe we need one. And then I was watching a Thrift With Me video of the Goodwill bins, and a lady found a box that was just like this one, and my brain went, I'm making a recipe box. I am making it now. And I decided when we went thrifting, I would look for a recipe box, and first store of the day. It's old, it's dovetailed, it's stained, this is my baby. So I have been going through, and I've been writing recipes on index cards. These are all things that I have made myself. I'm not putting anything in here that just sounds good. I have been going through my Pinterest boards. I have been going through YouTube videos I have saved and blog pages I've bookmarked and the cookbooks, because I can't keep recipes. I can't keep the fact that a recipe exists in my head. I'm actually not bad at keeping the actual recipe. And I decided I'm going to go through and pull all the things that I know how to make that my family, well, they don't like it all, but they'll tolerate it, or I like it. And I'm going to put together my recipe box. And I look at this one and I feel, wow, that I feel inferior to how huge hers is, but dang, there's room in here for a lot of index cards. So what I have done is I have gone through and I've taken index cards and just written the names of the recipes I know I want to get in here. Called my mom, asked her to give me her recipe for her banana bread and great-great-grandma's turkey giblet stuffing, which I'm not allowed to make because no one in my household will eat it with the giblets. And I'm going to get my husband's recipes, which are only in his head because he made them all up himself. And over time, I'm going to put together my recipe box. I'm already struggling because it is hard to take a recipe you found on someone's blog page and condense it down into a little cute recipe card. At least it is for me. And quantities, because we still have 3 kids at home, a 21-year-old and a 2 teenagers, so I cook in not cooking for 2 or 4 people quantities. There's a lot of chicken, and this is the ratio, and suggestions. It's kind of along the lines of put garlic in the saucepan until your soul tells you it's enough. So I don't think I'm doing it right. I'm sure I'm not doing it right, and I have to remind myself, I am doing this for me. This is mine. At some point in the future, one of my kids may get into it, but I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for my sanity and reminding myself what I know how to cook. And I hope I'm going to fill it up. I think I will. And I have just got to show you why I love these silly 1970s recipe boxes so much. They're coconut chews posed with knitting. It's like Pinterest in a box from 50 years ago, and I absolutely adore it. Whichever of these recipes I wind up making and enjoying, I'm going to copy onto my index cards and stick into my own box. And I need to go buy myself a bag of Nestle Toll House cookies, because the one thing that I need to imitate from my mom's recipe box is that yellow plastic cookie recipe, because we made those so often when I was growing up. I am pretty sure I could still rattle off the recipe from memory. Let me know, are your recipes all neatly organized? Have you considered preserving them? Because Pinterest isn't going to be around forever, and neither are the websites I've been pulling my recipes from. And the books will last the test of time, but remembering which recipes are in which book is more of a challenge than I want to do. If I've got you intrigued about old recipes, I have a flip through of a 1940s cookbook I found at the thrift store. I'll put the link to that if you want more. And I am tempted to go through and do a more in-depth dig through my recipe box life goals. I am kicking myself because I did not get the name of the woman who owned it. I could have, I should have. Maybe we should just give the box a name. Any suggestions? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Michelle. This is my Romantic Tangle, and I'll be back with you with more videos soon.